the Portland Trailblazers have officially landed Ja Morant. According to Shams, Portland is acquiring the two-time All-Star out of Memphis in exchange for Jerami Grant and Kris Murray, easily making this one of the biggest trades and one of the biggest moves overall this offseason. On paper, this is a massive swing by Portland. The Blazers are coming off their first playoff appearance since 2021, largely thanks to Danny Avdija, who broke out as one of the league's biggest surprises this last season. And obviously Damian Lillard is back in Portland. Drew Holiday is still on the roster alongside Scoot Henderson and players like Shadon Sharpe who have shown star potential and who continue to develop. And now you add Ja Morant to that. I mean, the talent is undeniable to say the least. But the fit is where things start to get interesting and where the conversation kind of starts to shift. Because you've now got Dame, Ja, Drew, Scoot, and Sharpe all in that backcourt. That's a lot of guards who need a lot of touches and a lot of minutes. So I'd be pretty surprised if Portland is completely done making any more moves this offseason. However, with that being said, this is exactly the kind of move that teams like this need to make when they believe they're getting one step closer to taking that final leap or maybe that big next step. I mean, you got to remember, Ja is only 26 years old, has 2 years left on his contract, and if he can get back to playing like the all-star level caliber player that we've seen before, Portland's ceiling just got a whole lot higher. But honestly, that's the biggest question. Can he actually stay on the floor? The issue was never, can Ja be a good player? The issue is, can Ja be a good player consistently? I mean, since 2023, Ja Morant has only played 79 games, and between injuries, suspensions, off-court issues, I mean, availability has been the biggest question mark of his career so far. And last season was just another frustrating season for him. He only appeared in, I believe, 20 games, averaged 19.5 points, 7 assists, while shooting his career low from the field at 41% and just 23.5 from threes. I mean, those stats aren't necessarily bad, and they don't make Ja a bad player. They just don't make Ja. They don't make him the Ja Morant that we once saw. They don't make him the Ja Morant that made the Grizzlies draft him second overall out of Murray State. Because when he's healthy, he's still one of the most explosive guards in basketball. The issue is that we just haven't seen that version of him consistently in a long, long time. And that's where the Grizzlies come in. And as crazy as this trade may look, I don't think this was a bad move for Memphis. And I don't think Memphis had much of a choice, if I'm being honest with you. Because after getting swept by OKC in the 2025 playoffs, they've kind of shifted the entire direction of the franchise. I mean, Desmond Bane is gone, Jaren Jackson Jr. gone, and now they get rid of Ja. I mean, at one point, this core that Memphis had all the talents in the world, But in 4 playoff appearances together as a team, they just were able to get one series win. And when you're a franchise, when you're a GM, when you're a coach, at some point, you just have to admit that something isn't working. You have to look in the mirror and realize what's missing. And I think now Memphis officially moves into a new era with Cameron Boozer after taking him 3rd overall this year. And instead of trying to squeeze the last bit of success and maybe one more run out of this core group that they once had, I think they just fully committed to the rebuild, which is great. Personally, I think this trade makes absolute sense for both sides. Portland is taking a chance on a player who, when healthy, when available, when active, is let's be real, an all-NBA level player. And at the worst, a good role player, a great role player when healthy. And on the other side, Memphis gets a complete clean sheet. They get a clean reset, and they can finally focus on building around its next generation without the constraint of, what could happen if Ja comes back. But the bottom line is that with both sides looking good, this entire trade still revolves around Ja. He still is the centerpiece for all of this. Mainly because if he stays healthy and returns to the form, the all-star, the all-NBA level that we knew, the arguably top 5 point guard that we knew, Portland could end up looking like one of the biggest winners this offseason, especially with how this last season turned out for them. And if not, if he can't get back to that, then I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we'll be having a different conversation a year from now. Maybe 2 seasons from now, we'll be looking at it when he's somewhere in Utah or in the Cavs after maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe he gets shipped away somewhere else, and we're having a different conversation about Ja Morant as a player, where he's having to play, second fiddle to, he's having to play Robin to someone's Batman, another point guard's Batman. But who knows? As of now, all we do know is that this looks like a win-win for both scenarios. I like the new destination for Ja. I think, being alongside a veteran presence like Dame, like Drew, I think it really is what he needs to kind of guide him the same way that, younger, I know he's not technically a younger player anymore. He's 26. He's been in the league for a while. He could technically be considered a vet, especially with the new class incoming. But I still think that there's room for growth in off the court and maturity. And I definitely think that the players that he has around him now in Portland can help instill that, rather than, what he had in Memphis, which was basically nothing. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. The internet is pretty much split on this. I've seen a lot of different reactions, so I'd love to know what you guys think. Big day for news stories all across the NBA today, so I'm going to try to get another 1 or 2 news stories out. But besides that, big week in general for sports. I mean, the new Pac-12 should be officially inaugurated. The new Pac-12 team should be officially inaugurated later this week, so expect to see a video on that. But that's pretty much it for now. Let me know what you guys think.